All right, so our first guest today, you guys, she's a photographer. She's had solo shows in New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Atlanta, Seattle, Istanbul, and Turkey, and also here in Portland, Oregon. Please welcome to Late Night Action photographer, Holly Andre! Holly Andre, thank you for being here. Yeah, stay right up close to it.
Okay.
Good, yeah, just like that. Isn't this weird, what we're doing right here?
Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
For those of you, for the people here who haven't seen your work before, we have this beautiful screen, and I wish we'd set it up so we could show some of your photos. It would be the best way, but since I didn't, could you paint us a word picture of the kind of what you do? Very specific style of photography.
Could you take us a word photo?
Yeah, did I say paint?
Okay, everybody, close your eyes.
Yeah.
Well, the way that I often talk about my work is I use a distinction coined by contemporary photographer Jeff Wall. So rather than a hunter, I'm a farmer. So if a hunter is more of a conventional type of photographer who is always has a camera on them and is kind of waiting or seeking out those decisive moments, I cultivate them.
You have domesticated moments?
I think so, yeah. So they're very cinematic. My work is very much in dialogue with cinema, in the way that they're very theatrically lit, very consciously art directed. They're narrative, and so there's usually a protagonist or some sort of conflict or
you often tell a story over multiple images where you...
Right, so they might be almost like a graphic novel where I might tell a story through maybe a series of 4 images or a dozen images, or maybe my series might be an elliptical narrative where the images kind of bounce back and forth but aren't to be ordered in a linear way per se.
Have you always done that way, or did you start with hunting images and then you moved into the cultivation?
Well, actually, my undergrad and my background is in painting and drawing.
Right.
And I think that probably informs my aesthetic and my process more than a traditional photographic background does. I've never really perceived the camera as an agent of truth. And
there's like 7 cameras here right now, so I'm a little worried about the agents of not truth and that they're taking it personally. You're still doing great work. He's leaving, he's storming out of here.
Throw a lens at the stage.
But usually the stories in my photographs are based on I have a real vivid memory, and like a lot of creative people, when someone is telling them a story, a film strip of sorts tends to run in my mind, and so that's always that's where I glean my inspiration from, is experience or incidents or...
A lot of your photography seems to focus, a lot of your scenes that you've set up are about childhood. You're having to work with child models, presumably, which is one of the no-nos of Hollywood, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's challenging. Every single photograph presents itself with a new challenge, and some children are easier to work with than others, and I've got a few tricks up my sleeve.
Like the duck behind your head and the squeaky toy.
Perhaps, yeah. But
I've seen that one before. I don't buy it anymore.
I mean, honestly, I'm not really asking that much of them in regards to acting. They're not reciting lines. They don't have to hit their mark or whatever. And simply photographing. We're so used to seeing images of children who are performing for the camera, smiling, looking at the lens. And so by just the simple act of photographing a child in an off moment kind of embeds it with this contemplative or conceptual layer that people tend to read in my work. And it is what I'm hoping to achieve.
So you've been doing, you did a series of exhibits, and you got a lot of attention, and you've been in high demand for other, for more corporate, I don't mean that in a bad way, but for more like that kind of professional shoots your first big one was the New York Times Magazine.
Yeah.
How is that from going from doing these things that are perfectly what you want to going to the corporate world and doing shoots for them?
For about 8 years, I was juggling making fine art and then teaching. And I decided that I wanted to see if maybe I could get paid to make photographs. People had said that maybe my work might have some sort of commercial application. That seemed a little bit like a fantasy to me, that
Oh, interesting.
that I could actually make a living exclusively making photographs. But and I literally just hit the pavement and kind of pedaled my ass and made appointments with Time and the Wall Street Journal and different ad agencies, and it was pretty surreal. I mean, I was like in my pink wool vintage dress, like walking into these really phallic, terrifying buildings and showing them my fine
If only
art.
someone had been there to photograph that. That sounds like such a cinematic experience.
No, if I could do it over again, I mean, I'm sure that, and my book, it's a gold book, because when I was looking, it's, the standard is a black book, but I thought to myself, there's a big boardroom table and it's filled with black leather-bound books, and there's one gold one. I'm gonna grab
Do you
that
see pictures everywhere? Like, do you see, like, are you thinking like, I'm gonna go on this talk show and wear a pink pantsuit and or you're just like living this like cinematic visual experience?
I mean, I don't really know what it's like to be in anyone else's head, but
We don't do that.
Yeah, we don't do that.
It sounds fun. I mean, now that you mention it, like the mic stand is a little phallic, but like normally I don't see that stuff. I just
But
go
you're
for
in it. You're
Yeah.
like in
Yeah.
the thing. That's cool to me.
That's really interesting. Are you getting back to fine art now? You have.
yes. So part of living that dream is for the last 2.5 years, I've taken every single assignment that's ever been presented to me. And so I've been working really, really, really hard because I want to maintain that momentum and build rapport with my photo editors and art directors that I've been working with. And I've been having a hard time carving out the time and energy to make my own work. And I've been kind of waiting for the perfect time for that to happen.
And your work isn't the kind of work that you just like, well, on the way to work today, I'm gonna go look around, take a few photos, because it's so staged.
That's right.
You have to have an idea.
Exactly.
Right.
So a few months ago, I went to an estate sale, and I love estate sales. Like, it's some sort of kind of guilty pleasure from pilfering through people's houses. And this one was unlike any I had ever been to. I mean, the smell was staggering, but that left a lasting impression. But it was like this immaculately art-directed set, and I was immediately enchanted by it and thought, wow, I really want to photograph here. So with the help of my sister, who's a real estate agent, we did some sleuthing and learned who had bought the house, and it turns out that the woman who had passed away there was 100 years old, and she was the second owner there, so it didn't have multiple, remodels every decade or two. So it was really lovely, like really beautiful floral wallpaper and this marvelous banister. And so anyway, I approached the woman. I sent her an email. I said, I'd really like to rent this house for 5 days. I want to create a new body of work here. And so what had happened was there's a commercial space right next door, and the woman who owns the commercial space had been waiting for that house to become available because she wants to make a parking lot out of it.
What, really?
Yeah, so.
She was like a movie villain, just waiting?
I don't know. I mean, well, it actually has kind of a magical ending. So she was out of town. She heard it was on the market, I guess.
And you filled the house with balloons?
No, I wouldn't.
And you haunted the house until the people who wanted to buy it left.
They had to leave because of all the traps.
Ghosts.
Ghosts?
Ghost traps.
Sorry, so magic ending. So those are our guesses. What's the actual magic
Okay,
ending?
so what happened was she entered the house and fell in love with it as well.
Oh!
Yeah. So,
And her heart grew 3 sizes that
but here's the cool thing, she's still getting her parking lot. She's moving the house to another location and is restoring it to its original,
Sorry, it's mostly magic still.
but,
So now you can take your photos in a house while it's moving.
So yeah, I rented it for 5 days, and for the first 2 days we cleaned it and propped it out, and then my crew and I made like 15 new photographs that are gonna premiere in 2015, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, that sounds really great. We have to really quick before you go. I just want to say, your Instagram is really wonderful, and I was just really quick. How do you take so much time and effort to put into photos and perfecting them? How is it to then also take some photos to put next to like cheeseburgers and really washed out selfies?
Instagram is a game changer. I love it, and I feel like there's this urgency, like it's not gonna last forever. This is so wonderful, but it's been.
Somebody might take it away and put a parking lot there.
I know, right? So
Download the parking lot.
I don't have to see. I've got a few.
Breathe just shaking your head at me. That's the best part of it.
I have kind of my own manifesto about what I will and will not tolerate as far as what's on my Instagram feed, and food, not interested in. Yeah, or gratuitous selfies. I'm not interested in that either.
Well,
so I really only follow other artists who inspire my own vision.
It makes perfect sense to me that you would shape that to be exactly the vision that you want it to be for other people as well. The food photos are great though. Sometimes it's like, no? Great? No?
Here we go.
Okay. Hey, well, you're at Polyandres, also at polyandres.com. We can find out about your 2015 show when it comes out with those new photos. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, Polyandres!